Greetings to all peoples and kingdoms of Arda, and welcome to Shield Maidens of Arda. One of the most wonderful elements of Tolkien's writings is his ability to sweep us away from the everyday and into the purely magical, the truly glorious, the simply idyllic. Who of Tolkien's readers have not longed to walk the streets of Númenor, travel the plains of Rohan, or sit in the quiet peacefulness of the Shire? The Elven realms, most especially, seem to catch our imaginations and make us yearn for the security and beauty and majesty that is inaccessible to many of us in the daily course of our lives. But perhaps it does not have to be. Would you like to live in Rivendell? Or maybe Lothlórien? What about the elusive majesty of Mirkwood? Or perhaps the Grey Havens of Lindon? What is your favorite Elven realm? Let us take you to each and turn today, and then you can tell us in the comments below. So sit back and let this shield maiden be your guide into the wonderful world of Middle-earth. The afternoon sun hangs heavy and low on the horizon. You gaze hopefully through the tangle of branches and tree boughs. A wind sweeps across the high trail that you ride on, causing you to pull your woolen cloak, tattered at its edges from the labors of your journey, closer around you. A sudden light gleams ahead through a mass of pine and larch, and you urge your weary mount onward. A dwelling. Perhaps the inhabitants will be willing to grant you shelter for the night. You emerge from the cover of forest to gaze upon a magical wonderland. A valley lies before you, settled deep within a nest of pine trees and rock faces and a rush of waterfalls. A wholesome peace seems to waft through the very air and whisper you onward, welcome, beckoning you. You move forward, almost breathless with the beauty your eyes are being granted, wondering if perhaps you have wandered into a dream, or if your exhausted mind has lost itself. You descend a steep slope of rock and find yourself crossing an arching bridge of stone, under which the last rays of the sun throw golden gems off the surface of a river. The sound of your horse's hoofs sounds loud on the high stone. The bridge leads you into a circular courtyard, its entrance flanked by two pillared statues of regal figures. All around you, the peaceful beauty mingled with the breathtaking nobility of the elves seeps into the air which you breathe, the earth on which you stand. A mellow golden light wraps your very being in comfort and assurance. You are safe. You are standing in the haven of Rivendell, home of the Lord of Lothlórien. Megavaden Melon. Welcome to Lothlórien. You look up at that voice and see a tall, lordly elf descending the stone steps. Yet, despite the absolute air of command that he holds, there is something gentle and kind and wise that draws you to him. He comes to stand before you, and bowing, makes himself known as Lord Elrond, master of the elven realm of Rivendell. My house is yours, he says warmly. Come in and refresh yourself. You are led into a large room, sealed with dark beams richly carved, and lit by a bright fire between carven pillars. There is a sense of welcome and peace here that is nearly overwhelming. Elves seat you beside the fire and bring you wine in golden vessels. Lord Elrond takes a seat opposite you, asking after your journey, listening to your worries and fears, his simple presence a comfort. You are served food that is as beautiful to gaze at as it is nourishing to eat. You bite into the soft flesh of a pale yellow fruit, and are reminded of spring air and warm sun and clear golden pools of water. You are weary and your head nods forward, lured on by the crackle of the fire and the low, gentle tones of Elrond's voice. He knows your weariness and beckons to an elfish maiden. You are led along a series of long halls to the guest room already prepared for you. The last thing you remember as your eyes close is the soothing sound of water. You awake with soft, golden beams of sunlight falling through the arched windows and playing about your bed. Birds are singing. You feel a light breeze whispering against your cheek. You climb out of the clean linen of your bed and walk to the window. There you gaze upon the valley and the glory of early morning, glowing with a pure radiance all its own. You sense the perfect tranquility and peace that the elves bring to the world around them, bidding you to cast off your fears and troubles and walk in the simple moment. You dress and go down to Elrond's table. The morning is spent roaming the sunlit valley, wandering over bridges with clear water rushing below them, dew glimmering and shining upon yellow leaves, the gentle sway of the breeze among the strong branches of the trees, the overwhelming sense of ethereal peace and beauty. You sit beside the softly bubbling stream and let the warm sunlight glow on your closed eyelids. All too soon, it is time for you to take your leave. You bow before the Lord Rohan and accept his blessing and well wishes for the journey ahead. An elf comes forward to hand you a fine jug filled with spiced wine, and another elf gives you some of the honey-sweetened cakes of the realm. Rohan raises his hand. Naitiru vanta varia vanta, ivala tayana nuvilia. The warm summer sky lights the stone of the bridge, the gentle slope leading out of the valley, and the forest trees and floor. You are leaving Rivendell, haven of security and peace and beauty. You glance behind you once more, and you know as you do that Lothlórien will never fully leave you, but will always be a part of your heart. The air is filled with the gentle sound of water lapping. Above your head, a white bird soars, calling out his plaintive, wailing tone. Your horse tosses his head, its nostrils flaring with a fresh tang of salt. You are nearing the sea. The stone path that you follow winds down among the majestic domed towers and the arched windows of the Elven realm of Lindon. The sloping tree-covered sides of the mountains on either side of you, the pure sea-blue sky above, the hushed and reverent air that has suddenly fallen upon you, all serve to anticipate every moment with a kind of breathlessness. Deep shadows cloak you in a subtle chill as you ride beneath a yawning arch, its stone deeply carved and beautified. And then the sea. Like liquid velvet of shimmering pearl and ebony, the sea stretches out before your eyes and disappears into the pure golden glow of the horizon. A sweet breeze, cool and refreshing, sweeps your hair from your eyes and stirs the horse's mane. You suddenly feel alive, more alive than you ever thought might be possible. You feel, deep within you, that inexorable pull of the rippling waves, the sea longing, the elves call it. You understand how they can speak of it so powerfully now, for it is powerful. The moment is broken by movement. A slender ship with ivory sail is gliding towards you across the water. It hardly seems to make a ripple on the shimmering surface. Elves stand at the stern, staring straight ahead with the bright, keen eyes. You feel suddenly small and young in their presence, and as the ship comes to its mooring and the tall, bearded elf steps out and advances towards you, you catch your breath at the sheer aura of wisdom and ancient knowledge that comes with him. He greets you with a bow and a smile. Welcome to the Havens, traveler. You have come far, I can see. Come, you will be our guest tonight. Another elf comes forward to take your horse, and you find yourself being led away from the quay and towards the tall, rearing buildings that make up the sheltered harbor of the Havens. The cry of the gull and the murmur of the waves follow you. You sit in the soft wind of the sea and the sharp tang of salt. The arched window frames the dying golden light of the sun. You hold a delicate wine goblet in your hand, watching and listening and taking in all the majesty of the elven realm, stretching out over rippling waters into endless horizons. A soft sigh escapes your lips. You can live here forever, free in a rush of water and wind, one with the waves and sky. Someone approaches behind you, and you turn to find the tall elf who welcomed you to his realm, Kieran. He says nothing, but lets the silent moments slip away under the law of the world you both stand in. At last he steps closer. It is the window to another world, some say. It is the lost pathway to the world beyond. The Grey Havens has always been a place of simple rest and healing, not only for those who would take us grey ships into the west, but for the passing traveler as well, those weary of heart and mind. I trust that you have found it so. You nod, you reply in the quiet peacefulness of your eyes. The murmur of the sea below plays a soothing melody. You arise from a night of restful, quiet sleep. Kieran is there to bid you farewell as you are handed the reins of your horse. May the veil bring peace to your path, he says, as you turn towards the stone arches and away from the quay. You glance back towards him and nod your thanks. The deep wisdom that shines through his eyes and into his face suddenly causes you to catch your breath. What has this immortal being seen in all the years and ages he has lived? How can the peace that reflects from his gaze be so true, so pure after all the sorrow he must have known? It is the havens, you realize as you start up the long slope. A warm, salt-filled breeze sweeps across your face and you breathe in deeply of it. The sea fades away to a quiet, dreamlike murmur. You gaze around you. Dark, tangled masses of vines, huge, thick trees, the boughs strangled with ivy and hung with lichen. The air around you is hot and breathless. There is a darkened glimmer to the air that looks green. You are in Mirkwood. You close your eyes and try to remember the directions pointed out to you by a friendly woodcutter. The path. You must not stray the path. The narrow, winding path. You bend to pick up your pack and stagger forward wearily. The stale air and the darkness continue. As far as your straining eyes can see, that is all there is to this place. Disturbing sounds above you cause your gaze to dart upward warily. An object flashes by. The rustle of blackened leaves sounds to your left. Something that could be a harsh whispering. You shudder and pull your cloak tighter about you. How does anyone stand to live in these endless forests of choked light and air? Yet the wood elves do, you are told. They seem a faraway and strange world now. Everything seems far away and strange. Your feet and hands are numb and foreign. Your entire body feels detached and drifting. Curse these forces. You would die here and nobody would know. The world suddenly falls away beneath you. Your foot tangles in a mass of roots and you feel yourself falling. The ground slams hard into your chest, knocking the last of the breath that you are trying to draw. You lie there, stunned. The soft sound of footsteps forces you to open your eyes. A hand is laid on your shoulder, a voice speaking to you. You are helped to a sitting position. An elf, with strung bow and clothed in green and brown, kneels before you. You have been found by the wood elves. There was a stirring of apprehension in your mind at that revelation. You have heard strange things of the wood elves. The one who helps you and leads you to the palace seems friendly enough, but you determine to be on your guard. You glance behind you as a dozen other warriors emerge from the trees to follow in your wake. You come soon out from the darkness of the forest into a stone bridge. Water runs swift and strong under it. There are two enormous doors of stone beyond the bridge. You have come to the palace of the wood elves. Everything is massive and towering and breathtaking. There is a frightening aspect to so much wonder. You are led through the doors and you catch your breath. The palace of the wood elves is not like anything else you have ever seen. It is built of the living things around them, the trees and the earth and the stone, even as the wood elves themselves are one with nature. You are led along narrow, winding passages of hewn stone, with darkness falling off to either side of you in an endless depth. Glimmering lights show from portals of stone. Mystery and timeless majesty are imprinted in every arch, every stone, every step you take. You are brought before the woodland king, Rivendell. He greets you with that aura of cold power that has brought many to their knees in fear. You find yourself more anxious than you would have thought. You bow low and listen as his rich, strong voice welcomes you and asks after your purpose in this forest. I am only traveling through, sire, you reply. I have no intention of trespassing. I have here a note of introduction from Gandalf the Grey, whom I met in the wildland before I entered your forest. He said that you do not take kindly to strangers in your realm, and that this would explain my purpose, and assure you that I am only a harmless traveler. A smile plays on the corner of Randall's lips, but he takes and reads the note. He nods. Indeed, I trust the word of Gandalf the Grey. You are welcome here, and I will see to it that you are well rested and guided on the next part of your journey. With that, you are led away to be made comfortable in one of the palace's guest rooms. The huge pillowed dining hall of Mirkwood has laid out a feast for your arrival, and you are seated between King Thranduil and his son, the Prince Legolas. You have heard rumors of the wood elves' love of feasting, but they do not rival what you see before you. All manner of wonderful and strange foods line the long tables. The deep, strong Dorian wine flows from bottle to goblet. The wild scent of freshly killed game laced with black pepper and clove. Round loaves of nut-crusted bread. Soups and stews flavored with tiny herbs from the palace gardens. The king is gracious and kind, his son warm and welcoming. The awe of power and majesty are not abandoned, but a sense of joyous merrymaking is married to them. You cannot help yourself. You raise your goblet full of wine and laugh along with your table companions. A trio of elves comes into the hall, bringing a flute, a large string instrument, and a harp. They start to play, and suddenly you find yourself wrapped in the wonder and magic of elven voice and song. The moon is high in the sky when at last the feast is ended, and you are conducted to your rooms. The soft whisper of Mirkwood trees outside your window lulls you to sleep, and a heady draught of wine you have partaken of assures your entrance into the land of dreams. You are to leave the following morning. Your journey cannot spare another day's delay, but you are reluctant to leave this realm of mystery and wild beauty. You bid goodbye to the king and his son. 2 of his elves will be going with you to help guide you through the rest of the forest. With the taste of wine still on your lips, the scent of the wild trees in the forest resting long in your mind, and the sound of the elven music deep in your soul, you ride forth from Mirkwood, realm of the wood elves, and continue on your journey. You have heard the tales of the elven realm of Lothlórien, but they cannot truly prepare you for the moment when your eye beholds the land itself. There is something here so real, so true, that you know not how to describe it. The green of the grass, the golden of the trees, the blue of the sky, the fresh vividness of the air, all is more alive, more actual. You hear the whisper of the wind in the trees, and you think it a song. You feel the strong ball of the great trunks as you pass them, and you understand that you have never known trees before. You are surrounded by mystery and beauty and ancient timelessness. Your senses are fresh and awakened. The land around you seems lost in a golden haze. You wander almost mindlessly in it, not caring where your steps might be leading you, only living in the moment and breathing in that air seeped in wisdom. You walk in a song. You come to a sudden stop. 6 elfish warriors have stepped forth, seemingly from the trees themselves. They are all tall, golden-haired, stern and silent. You let your arms fall to your sides. You mean no harm. You meant only to pass through the land. The leader of the elves listens to your story, and with a nod offers to lead you onward. It seems that the lady of the realm has had word of you. You are expected. You will be an honored guest. You are led through the golden woods by the elves. The ground slopes ever upward. The golden haze seems to thicken and then shed itself into a silver one as evening draws near. Your elven guide tells you that you will soon be in the very heart of elfendom itself, and food and drink and rest he will be giving you. You thank him, but it is hard for you to feel weary or in need of nourishment in this land. The soft light of evening has fallen when at last you lay eyes upon Caddis Galahorn, the great center of Lothlórien. You gaze in wonder unabated at it. The beauty and power of the very sight is breathtaking. Surely mortals were not meant to behold such glory. You lift your eyes to the heavens, taking in the endless stars like a diamond dome, the deep velvet of the sky, the silver light that seems to glimmer in gentle beckoning from the tree-crowned hill. Your elven guides lead you down the slope, and soon you are immersed in the very midst of the elven kingdom. The air is cool and soft. You are led up a winding stair glowing with the ever-present silver light. The ground is lost far below you. The thick boughs and branches seem to be embedded with a living radiance. Your elven guide leads you ever up, along delicate walkways. He pauses at a large area overarched with latticing domes. You come to stand beside him. The lord and lady of the land are coming to greet you. You bow low, uncertain and somewhat awkward before ones of such wisdom. You feel the warm smile of the lady upon you as you rise. "Welcome to Lothlórien, traveler," Lord Celeborn says. "You are welcome here for as long as you wish. You will be given every courtesy that we can offer, and I pray that you will be rested and refreshed." "The trials of the world have indeed been granted heavily to this one," the Lady Galadriel says in her soft, silvery voice. "Do not fear, weary traveler. The sorrows and troubles that you carry in your heart cannot find you here." You bow again, unable to reply to such words of gentle understanding and comfort. The Lady Galadriel nods to the elven guard behind you, and stepping aside, he guides you from the flood into the place already made ready for you. You awake with golden sunlight falling on your face, the sounds of a gentle water falling, the soft singing of a bird, the fresh clean air that sweeps across your face. The silver blue of evening has transpired into a goldenness of springtime. You stand to your feet, feeling refreshed and awake and alive. You make your way through the winding path of the gardens. You are greeted with warm smiles from the tall, graceful elves of the realm. As you pass beside the narrow path that ends in a strange circle of grass where a silver basin sits, you are addressed by one of the guards. The lady of the realm wishes your presence for breakfast, if you would follow me. He leads you away from the silver basin and the grass. You both make your way across the endless bridges and fluts and passages, through the trees, at last coming to a wide silver lake, framed by tall, bowing trees. There, in the very midst of the water, a swan vessel sits. At your approach, the vessel glides to the shore, and the Lady Galadriel stands to welcome you aboard. There was a feast laid out before you on the graceful vessel. Delicate braided breads, sweet fruits, soft, tender herbs and greens, flowers stuffed with cheeses, wine, and the elven drink of Mirkwood. The rippling grey waters swirl around the swan vessel, and the soft voice of the Lady Galadriel speaks to you, offering words of encouragement for your journey. The shadow of her deepens. The long defeat is being fought. Even I cannot see his end. Yet do not lose hope, traveler. Sometimes hope is all that is left. She smiles at you then, and you feel your heart lift in new strength. Hope is well and alive. The shadow will not find its fulfillment in you. You must take your leave now. You are given a packet of the elves' way bread, the limbus. The Lady Galadriel and Lord Celeborn bid the Veil's protection over you as you leave behind a ward of wonder and enter a world of hope. Hope because you are carrying it in your heart. So, what is your favorite elven realm? Let us know down in the comments below and tell us why. For me, that question is a hard one. If I want wonder and mystery, Lothlórien. If I want majesty and wild, untamed glory, Mirkwood. If I want the quiet wisdom of the ages, the Grey Havens. But if I want home and peace and a place where I can feel safe and loved, Rivendell. To me, Rivendell will always be my home. Thank you for joining with me today to the Word of Honor. Please like this video, subscribe to Shield Maintenance, and join us again so we can explore more of Middle-earth together. Namadi.